The title of this book is The Creature Keeper's Journal. It is first discovered in the Chambers of Xeric, also known as the Raids minigame, when one defeats the giant scavenger by looting the nearby chests and placing the worms that one finds into its food trough, where it then consumes these worms and, after becoming full, moves out of the way of the door and takes a nap. The book is found upon searching the dead body in the middle of the room. The body is called the Creature Keeper, and this is his journal. I hope you guys enjoy this reading. Journal. These scavengers are fascinating. I have read of similar things in the tales of seafaring folk who described voyages to distant lands where scuttling creatures called scavids lurked in the dark caves, stealing food and shiny objects from nearby settlements. Our scavengers may be a related branch of the species, though there is no sign of any intelligence here. Nevertheless, the larger scavengers have a degree of brute strength, and I envisage they could be useful as warriors, if they can be suitably trained. First, I must teach my scavengers to obey me. I will begin by making them dependent upon me for food, so that I can use food to reward obedience. I have collected a supply of cavern grub cocoons to provide a fresh supply of grubs for my scavengers. These are securely locked away, so that the scavenger cannot obtain them for itself. Next, I began to feed a large scavenger with the grubs. I fed it daily in its food trough. It no longer even thinks of going scavenging for itself, so it is becoming completely dependent on me. Soon I will be able to send it into battle against the other creatures that roam these caves and teach it that it must fight if it wants to be fed. This technique of instilling dependency is marvelous. If I can make it work on the scavengers, consider how it could be applied to a wider range of minions. Perhaps one day, I could even apply it to the citizens of Kourend. If we can ever return to that city by taking administrative control of all means of production, so that the citizens are fed only at the benign hand of their masters. This may prove a more effective means of control than the brutish methods that failed us before. But that is a consideration for another day. Meanwhile, I have found some lizard men in the cave that look like a suitable combat challenge for my scavenger. Unfortunately, the creatures saw me, and they attacked immediately. I had no trouble retreating, though I have begun to feel unwell since the incident. I do hope their spit has not infected me. And we've reached the end of the Creature Keeper's journal. That appears to be the last entry where he's hoping that he wasn't infected by the lizardmen. Probably the lizardmen shaman down in the cave, actually. The thing I found most interesting about this book is that he's using a sort of Skinnerian, not Pavlonian, but Skinnerian conditioning. That'd be the operant conditioning as opposed to classical conditioning in order to train the creatures. And I found that interesting because there's not too many other notes of conditioning throughout RuneScape, and usually the science of conditioning starts with the classical conditioning with basic physiological reactions, but this guy was training behavior with the use of food by means of positive reinforcement. So that makes me wonder if anyone else, NPC-wise, in the game has been using other more primitive types of conditioning, like Pavlovian. If anyone has noticed that, or any other interesting psych memes within RuneScape or raids in general, let me know. I also think that it was interesting that he thought that he could use his knowledge or his methods of persuasion and dependency and reward with Quran for a more malicious reason, kind of moving away from the Machiavellian persona of Xeric with the quote-unquote brutish means. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about that lore story in the comments. Maybe we can get a discussion going. See you guys next time. Peace.